Oh, beautiful.
Hi.
See you tonight.
Chris, you want to live?
Are you not away yet?
Oh, we're off tomorrow, I hope. I'm still waiting for my new assistant. Is this him?
This is Mr. Thornton, who's been sent with the board at head office.
Marvellous. How do you do? Can you see me for scrambled egg? Christopher Darnley.
This labour is one of our geologists. Oh, Mr. Thornton's coming to have a look at our exploration methods. Apparently we're doing it all wrong.
Oh, are they going to have a go at it themselves?
Now, Mr. Stead just asked me to look in on the way through, that's all.
They're not criticising your work, Chris. More the general policy.
What you doing, not how you're doing it.
Well, any time you fancy a luxury tour of the Sahara. Do you want me to change my plans for this trip?
No, I'm just sitting in. I brought your new assistant, by the way.
Well, where is he then?
Taking a buggy ride round town.
What?
You know, tourist kick.
Well, who is he, for heaven's sake?
Boy called Izard.
Boy?
David Izard. He's the
Izard.
replacement for King.
I've never heard of him. He's not been out here before.
I think he's been anywhere, really.
Well, that's marvellous, isn't it? That's all I need. But he'd better shake his ideas up if he's going out into the blue with me tomorrow.
There he is now.
Oh, David here, Izard, is it?
Yes.
Senior geologist, David.
How do you do?
We're glad to have you with us. This is Chris Darnley, your party chief.
How do you do?
How do you like the town?
Well, it's a pretty little place.
Did you find the zoo?
I didn't see a zoo.
There isn't one. There aren't any hanging gardens either.
Don't worry, it's the natives' way of making you feel happy. You know?
Oh. Where are we,
Well, we're going down tomorrow to Concession 20. That's about 500 miles south.
Ah,
You don't know the desert?
I'm afraid not.
No. It's near the Fazan, 4 days' drive across sand.
Worked there before?
Chris has been everywhere.
I've never been to Wagga Wagga. It's mainly sedimentary rock running into ironstone.
Is there a company base?
No, we're on our own. We take as much with us as we can, and they fly out our provisions to the oil camp at El Wadan. We pick them up
Where's
and
that?
all our fuel and water. El Wadan.
And how long are we going to be there?
3 or 4 weeks, probably.
Why are you operating there?
Because it's never been explored before. We've a lot
Anything to go
do.
on?
Aerial surveys. Listen, well, do you want to join us?
No, thanks.
You don't want us anymore, do you, Paddy? I'll look in the morning.
I can survive without you for a while.
I'll look after you, young lads.
And keep in touch.
Yes.
We got a radio.
True, we have.
We talk every morning when Chris remembers to tune in.
Yeah, I'll sing to you.
Uh,
Goodbye, Mr. Thornton. I hope you'll have a comfortable tour of inspection. Come on, David. Why don't you think away?
Cocky bastard.
He's a fine geologist.
Well, he needs to be.
Where have you worked before?
Only in Europe, I'm afraid. I left university last year.
Which?
Oxford.
Oh, that place. Well, it's pretty straightforward stuff here. The French have got oil and gas fields over to the west. And more recently, there have been strikes in the east in Cyrenaica. We've been working in between without much luck. Now we're moving further south, practically into the old French Sudan. It's hot there.
Yeah, I really does.
How do you stand up to heat?
Well, I don't know.
We'll soon find out.
Yes, I think I will. Tell me, how many are there in the party?
Half a dozen. Us and 4 non-geologists, locals.
And are we the only UK staff?
Yes. We're the only Britishers, just you and me, Wick. Oh, this is it.
You live here?
I just got here when I'm not in the desert. I've got a flat in Barcelona. We're going to Giuseppe's pad.
Who's Giuseppe?
Oh, he's the camp boss. He's an Itai. He was born here, but he's still an Itai.
Fruchos, and fruchos, and fruchos, fruchos, fruchos. Christopher, what do they do with all the fruit they take the juice out of, eh?
Serve it to Thornton at the Atlas, I hope.
And conserve, in the new Harold Robbins novel. Say, David, have you read this? Do you read Harold Robbins? You should read this one. Plenty of... Say, get out of that!
Ma c'è una cosa per la pasta?
And tomato puree.
Ah, ecco quel che voglio.
Ma non li vogliamo alla napoletana, li vogliamo alla bolognese.
Li avrai alla napolitana. A me così non li voglio con la salsa. Con la salsa.
Ah, va in
marinata.
cucina.
Ah.
Women, they're crazy. They fight. I had no time for them. Say, David, you come straight from England, eh?
Yes.
Well, you're working for the biggest bastardo in the world, I can tell you. Hey, give that back. Here, give it back, I say. I ask you, please. There, you see? It's mine. I pay for it. Good money. You tell me what you want to take, eh?
Well, I don't know.
Giuseppe looks after the commissariat.
That's right. I buy everything for the trip. The food, the dancing girls, everything.
Got his stuff?
Well, I buy the same as I did for King, but maybe you don't like something. Say, you like rice pudding?
Well, no.
No, there you are, you see? King, he liked it all the time. Never mind, I get rid of it. You tell me what you want to take, and tomorrow I buy it. You put that back. Huh. She lives up there. My beautiful little August, darling. Up there she goes. And it's no good you telling me when we're out in the blue that you like pickled herring because you'll just be...
Hey, not much, cop.
See? She's beautiful. But just look at those... Listen, Kristen. How do you get a girl to sit like that, eh? If I go to a girl and I say, strip off your clothes, darling, I take her photograph. She kick me in the... She kill me. Glasses. You must wear dark glasses all the time.
You old wop.
Poof. I may be a poof, but I'm not a wop. I mean... yes, the glasses. They keep out the sand and the sunshine. You don't get headaches.
You'll have a headache anyway after tonight.
He stays tonight.
And what happens tonight?
I tell you. Out there is demo. So here, we have a good time when we can. And the night before we go, we have a bomb. We have this party.
Who do we get for him?
I don't know. How should I? For Christopher, there is Corolla. For me, there is Zeta. But for... I don't know who else. Don't you know any, bro?
Oh, Zeta can find someone.
Ah, Zeta knows nobody. 1, 2, 3 packets of raisins, 2 bottles of scotch. Not for you, Christopher. All right. I'll ask Zeta. Zeta! Zeta! Senti, Zeta, conosci una ragazza che posso venire
He can fix anything.
Have you worked together a long time?
Yeah.
And how long have you been with the company?
10 years, not long.
Seems long to me.
Promotion was slow when I started. They had all those Edwardians to get rid of.
Well, I think it still is. I was lucky.
How?
I just turned out fortunate.
Why did you go in for oil?
My father's in it.
Oh, in this firm?
Yeah.
What does he do?
He's company secretary.
Oh, where?
London.
What, do you mean he's the company secretary? Up in the executive suite and on the board and carpet up to his eyebrows?
Well, he's not a director, but he does attend board meetings, yes.
That explains it, doesn't it?
Explains what?
Why they sent you. Why couldn't they tell me?
Now, look here,
I'd have to be a bit careful what I say, wouldn't I?
Of course not.
You what?
I just want to be an ordinary employee of the firm. I just want to learn to be a good geologist.
Well, aren't you one?
Well, I hope I have the makings.
All fixed, settled. Zeta will find you somebody, and tomorrow morning we carry you out to the desert. You've never been there.
No.
Christopher will tell you all about it. He knows more about it than I do. When I was born here, he talks of nothing else.
You know, we've a distinguished visitor, Giuseppe.
Who?
Our friend here. His father's a stinking great tycoon at head office. 20 birds all perched on his desk, taking notes.
Your dad is one of the bosses. Isn't that nice? Senti, Zeta. Una cosa da dirti.
Chris.
What?
I'm a qualified geologist. I'd like you to start thinking of me as that and not as a boss's boy.
Well, I expect we will once you get some sand behind your ears. Those come from Sicily, a bit west of where we're going. The earliest ones are Paleolithic.
About 6,000 BC.
Yeah. The Sahara was all wet country then. When you look at the later Neolithic ones, you see it was all savanna and they had cherry. Not that anyone lives in the desert now. You never see a soul once you're deep down.
Any remains?
Soup. Eh? No, the originals of all these are in caves in the mountains. I've got Henri Lot's book here if you want to read it. Quite often I pick up artifacts, things like this. These are bits of Iron Age pottery I found lying in the middle of nowhere. If you're at all interested in the work, you'll like the desert. It's rough and it can be terrifying, but it's a geologist's paradise.
I am interested.
Good. Once we're out there, I'm party chief. What I say goes. Not because I'm a megalomaniac, because if we're not a team, we don't get our work done. Giuseppe and the locals, that's a cook, a mechanic, and a driver. They all know that. We never have any trouble. But there are several things you've got to learn, and you've got to learn fast.
Yes, I expect there are.
Yes, there are certain golden rules. For instance, never break convoy. We've 3 LRs and a store truck, and when we're in desert, we go in line ahead so as to reinforce our tracks for identification. And if the vehicle behind you stops, you stop.
Yeah, that sounds sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's basic survival, Tosh. If you're on your own, well, try not to be. Try to keep at least 2 vehicles together. If you're not dead certain of your way, turn straight round and follow your own tracks back to a place you know. And if you do get lost or break down or anything, don't ever leave your vehicle. That's an absolute cardinal rule.
The rats don't leave a sinking ship, they sell it.
I'm not joking, boy. Rescue parties can conceivably find a vehicle. But the chances of finding you alone once you've left it are absolutely and completely nil. Even if your father's the chairman.
Look, I wish
Come on, you've got to get changed.
Pardon me, but will you be working much longer, Mr. Thornton?
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't have to stay there.
Oh, you sure? Thank you.
Where do I put the exploration files when I'm through?
They go in this cabinet, and the keys dropped in here. Security.
Pretty rough old system, isn't it?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's pretty good. Right.
Christopher, tomorrow night at this hour, we'll be rinsing the sand out of our coffee.
Cosa?
Tomorrow, domani sera a quest'ora, risciacqua dei fumi. La sabbia dal nostro caffè.
Hi.
Hello, gorgeous. You met David?
We saw each other.
Hello. Farine, Colonel Ann.
Hi. Hello, Zeta.
Come sit over here.
Hey, don't have anything to do with that lascivious Italian. You're sitting here. I thought you were never coming.
Well, I had to wait for your Mr. Clever from head office. I left him working away, real little eager beaver.
Who's that?
Our Aussie friend, Thornton.
Oh, yes, what's he like, this fountain?
Oh, that's David. He flew out with him.
Oh, yes. Our new young assistant party chief is the son of the managing director. We're in the big time now.
Lay off him. Give the lad a break.
What?
My father isn't managing director.
Ah, but he's one of the big knobs, yes?
Well, you know this Thornton character, then?
Yes, he's one of the director of operations Troubleshooters.
He looks like trouble.
Yeah.
Just happened to be passing, so I thought I'd stir it up for you. Nit.
Sì, canta.
No, listen
Hey,
to
come on,
this music.
sing, Giuseppe, sing. And sing in English. None of that spaghetti stuff.
Sing
I think I can't sing in
Heard
English.
you sing in English.
Wait, just you wait. Wait for the beat.
And back in Tripoli, music is everywhere. And beside the silver sea, love is in the air. People in Tripoli never shed a single tear. Happiness is all they know, and my love is there, living and wishing the time away.
Hi. Got a cigarette?
Day to day, watching the sun as it climbs
Thank
and
you.
falls.
Do you live in London?
Yes, we have a rather old-fashioned house in Sydenham. It's quite nice.
You didn't know Chris before?
No.
He's quite something. I hope you get along with him.
Yes, I hope so too.
You're not scared of him.
No. No, I don't think so.
You don't want to be scared of Chris. He doesn't like people who are scary of him. He likes people to be strong and sensible and well-adjusted like he is.
Yes, I can imagine.
It's pretty nice here, isn't it? The sea and the lights and the oleanders.
Like Durrell's Alexandria.
Hey, you're cute, aren't you?
Am I?
Listen, there's something I think you should know about Chris.
Don't you think I should find out for myself?
No, I think you should know this. He makes heavy demands on you because underneath he makes no demands at all.
I don't quite understand you.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm mad for him. But he's sterile.
Sterile?
I don't mean impotent. His life's sterile. He has no home, no feeling of family. He doesn't go in for anything that puts down roots. He has girls. He has me at the moment, but he'll never marry me. He has a great life, he tours around, and he loves the desert.
And he makes demands.
He demands to be looked up at. Well, you can't blame him. He has nothing to prop him up except his own strength. You have to acknowledge it all the time. Stand up to it, but acknowledge it. He'll dominate you if he can.
Yes, well, I'm pretty good at not being dominated.
I guess you're just pretty good.
Hey, wait, hey! What are you doing with my girl? You've got one of your own inside. Second.
You remember this when you're sweating at midday tomorrow, digging a truck out of fish.
What's fish?
It's a sort of loose sand, the thing a geologist likes about the desert. It's all eroded away.
He's off.
You see not bare bones in the country.
Chris Bunch, give it a rest tonight. I want to dance. Oh, no.
Hey, why you stop?
great life if you don't shrink.
Do you like me? Yes.
Store truck, not there. What now? Giuseppe truck, not there. It's coming, isn't it? I think so. Will you not stop? Giuseppe's not alone, is he? He has mechanic, will you? Well, that's all right then, isn't it? Anyway, we're stopping. Look.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Doing?
You want to break all the springs and bash in the sump?
But I didn't.
Just drive it like that a few more times and it'll let you down when you really need it.
I'm sorry.
Your vehicle's your best friend. Don't ill-treat it. Where's Giuseppe?
Isn't he behind?
Well, don't you know? I don't see him.
Not seen him for a long time.
Why didn't you wait for him then?
I didn't think.
For pity's sake.
Well, he can follow our tracks and he's got a mechanic with him.
Get out.
What?
Get out of the festering cab. Proving your worth, sonny boy. And wait here till I get back. Wait!
Morning, Willie. I've got something to show you.
Oh, is it,
Peter Thornton's report on North Africa. Thought you'd be interested as your son is there.
well, he's on geological survey.
That's on geological survey.
Well, that's nothing to do with Thornton.
It is now. Peter Thornton's the best exploration manager we've got. And if he says the geological people are doing it wrong, well, I'm ready to take his word for it.
What are you going to,
Get in his head.
I don't think you realize enough just how many,
What?
backs you put up.
Why, have you counted?
Sending these young men around, interfering.
What's the use of keeping falcons if you don't hunt?
Well, it's not a very lovable chain affair. You know, it's very much resented.
Well, has anyone complained?
Several of the directors.
Are awake? Thank you for warning me. Well, you'd better get your son to make an independent report.
No, well, certainly not.
No nepotism, eh? Quite right. Be a chance for him, will he?
No, he'll make his own way in the firm.
And I hope he's not as soft as his dad.
شد معك ايوه نصمت له ماذا يحصل كان هذا ايوه
تعال هنا قاعد غادي قاعد
ايوه اهلا وسهلا تفضل كيف الحال؟ هاي قاعد صب
تعال هنا قاعد
Ah, here comes our bambino. And he's not wearing his dark glasses.
Not the desert that dazzles him. It's your shirt.
You stick yourself a long way after jumper.
How'd you get on?
I drove slowly.
Good.
I found those up on the escarpment. As I thought, they're limestone.
Hey, that's good. That's very good. Very good. Come here. You see, if that's that, and that's the exposed end of a stratum running down with the others, it could be one end of a sedimentary basin with these scarps over to the southeast as the other edge of the rim.
with oil traps in the middle.
Yeah, only if there's source rock, reservoir rock, and cap rock in the right order. In any case, what's interesting is to find what the land actually is. It's a great old game, isn't it?
It's a hot one.
Yeah, but watch drinking too much of that water in this heat. You'll screw your guts up. Yeah, then.
Hey!
Where are they now?
There.
Well, they've got to come back.
It's a long haul.
I know it's a long haul.
They're investigating an interesting formation.
The whole world's full of interesting formations. Maybe it's full of oil, but we're not finding it.
Well, I'm not responsible for the way the Earth's
It's
made.
been agreed with the area manager. It's been agreed with London. There's got to be a new exploration pattern here.
I can't pull them back in the middle of a job.
You can if I tell you.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Thornton. I'm only a paid servant of the company.
So am I. So are they. That's why they're here, not to enjoy themselves.
We could give them another fortnight.
Paddy, it's plain stupid to have parties going further and further south when we are in a direct line with other people's oil strikes here. This is where they're going to be working with the seismic teams, consolidating known ground, not doing an ordnance survey of Africa.
It's all useful
Sorry,
information.
mate, you're on the wrong tack. How's that coming?
It's running hot.
Well, let me know when it melts, and I'll give you another one.
Are you going to do what he says?
When the bugles blow, me darling, we all fall into the thin red line.
Chris will go screaming mad.
Living and wishing the time away, living from day to day, watching the sun as it climbs and falls, watching the hours pass away.
Ah, come into the palazzo. Say, would you like some drink? Vino, beer, Yankee American cola? Oh, beer, please. Here it is. It's warm. Everything is. So, you are liking the Foreign Legion, eh?
Yes.
You are like a sailor. When the sun shines and the wind is right, everything is beautiful in the desert. You wait till the trouble starts.
Don't you like it?
It is nothing. No music, no women, damn all.
Why do you do it then?
Money, lira, piaster, what do you do it for?
Well, I don't want to be like my father.
Your father?
Ever since I can remember, he's left home at 8:30 and come back at 6, like a clock. Nothing real ever comes out of it for him. He just grows older, and every day he looks more and more like 50 million other people. I don't want to be like that. I want to... Oh, I want to do something.
You're an only son, eh?
Yes.
And your mama worries for you?
I hope not.
Oh, she should, though. Traveling about is...
Don't you like traveling?
Me, no. I like to stay at home.
Well, this is your home.
Tripoli. Out here is no good. My parents were in Tripoli when the 8th Army came. And before that, when Rommel came. And before that, my father fight in the Italian army for Marshal Graziani, you know. Fighting all over this land. But Papa, I asked him, what for? Sand. Nothing. Ah, Madonna Santissima. Tomorrow, when you go near an oasis, be careful where you put your feet. In the sand, the British and American mines. Under them, the German mines, the Africa Corps. And under them, the Italian mines, our mines.
Still there?
Well, who moved them? Say, you'd like some girly books?
Well, I wouldn't mind.
There, take your pick. Help you to remember. Say, you hear about Susi Sue?
No?
American bomber, B-25 or some such number. She crashed out there during the war. They found her 3 or 4 years ago. They fixed batteries to the wireless, and she worked after 20 years.
What happened to the crew?
They find them, dried up in the desert, all dead. Oh, yes, you start working 1 day without water, and you're finished by nightfall. It's true, believe me. And you still want to be a desert rat like our Chris?
Yes, I do.
Che pazzo, figlio mio, proprio in mezzo alla testa.
Let me know when you get back. We'll fix a session.
Okay, Paddy, understood.
Over and out. Well, now I've heard it all.
Have to go back.
Yeah, so Mr. Thornton says...
That's all right. Tomorrow I send a message to Zetta to have the spaghetti ready. I tell her to have everything ready.
Ignorant gits.
Well, there must be good operational reasons.
It's your dad and his mates I'm talking about.
Yes, I know.
Well, you're standing up for him, are you?
But can we get this straight,
Yeah, you
Chris?
tell me.
Look, I'm not anybody's lackey, yours or theirs. Look, I'm here officially to help you do your job. So belt up.
Christy.
We still have 3 days.
2.
We can stretch it to 3.
What good will 3 days do? We go home. That suits me.
We need to work all round this rim that's about 200 miles and see what the inclines are, and we ought to go over there too, which is about another 100.
And we could never do it in time.
You don't know me. In 3 days, we couldn't fill in the details, but we could hit the high spots. Now, we'll take 2 Land Rovers, and you and I and the cook and the mechanic. Giuseppe can keep the tents and the radio.
Right.
What are you playing at?
We're going fly camping.
You're crazy, plain crazy.
Now, you inside can stay here, and if anyone radios from me, I'm missing end, I've got a hostage.
If anyone radios, I tell them to send a lunatic keeper.
Look, if we broke up and went separately, then we could cover twice as much ground.
Yeah, we could if you weren't such a raw hand. They even fixed that for me.
Look, I know I could do it.
No. Yes, it's an arrowhead, all right, but it's not worth getting lost for.
But I wasn't
How
lost.
often do I have to tell you before you remember? Never, ever lose sight of your vehicle. The desert's like the sea. Either you can sail over it or it swallows you. It's a dead land. It doesn't support life.
You live with it?
I understand it like the French. You love it, but never trust it.
I still think you can be a bit too hooked. I mean, look, I know it's exciting.
No, the exciting thing is to know it as it is.
I don't see
But
that.
it's still one of the few places that are too big and intractable for men to swarm in. You can only be alone in
It'll
it. Not for a
change.
long time. Of course, your friends at head office think the important thing is to find possible areas of hydrocarbons so they can make more money.
I think you're being a bit unfair. I can quite see their attitude.
I thought you wanted to get away from them.
I do, but not because I criticize them. I don't know enough about it. All I do know is I don't want to sit in an office doing paperwork like my father. Chris, I want to see something come out of this, and I want some action.
It's not the action that matters, David. What matters is to prove we can live out here where no one else lives and bring back a little fresh evidence of the nature of the earth.
But you still need to prove it?
I want to be a whole man, Tosh. So do you, don't you? Not a dead one. Ali, how's Mohammed?
He's not so good now, Mr. Chris.
What's the matter with him?
The temperature and a gut ache. Give him plenty to drink and we'll see how he is in the morning.
Yes, sir. You want tea, Mr. Chris?
Yes.
What do you think it is?
Anything. Enteritis, appendix, dysentery. If it's worse in the morning, we'll have to get him away.
Back to the camp?
For a start, then Giuseppe can drive him to where we're down and we'll call up an aircraft to fly him out from there.
But that'll take all tomorrow.
Yeah, bang goes one of our days.
Oh, yay. Well, I could take him.
I'll take him.
No, there's no need.
Think you could manage it?
Yes, I can take him to the camp in the morning and be back in the afternoon. All I have to do is follow the tracks.
Well, going won't be too bad because there'll be other tracks leading back to the camp, but finding me...
Look, I'll find you if you don't move too far.
I'll keep the bivouac here, all the same.
Look, you don't want to lose one of your last 2 days. In fact, I can go tonight.
You don't make...
Why not?
Because I say so.
Look, I'm not a child. I know what I'm doing.
Said no!
You're not my bloody father!
You obstinate little git. All right, you can go in the morning and bring Side with you, if possible with the other Land Rover. Don't travel alone. It's a bit different from a buggy ride on the promenade. Now, do as I say. Don't get clever. Follow the tracks back. And good luck.
All right, PNX-52, we'll do. We'll call.
Operating limits is the difference, you know.
Hello, Harry. Will you get an aircraft down to El Wadan, then? Yes, that'll be all right, sometime this afternoon. Yes, that'll be dandy.
Chris's party coming in?
No, they're evacuating their mechanic who's ill.
They should all be on their way by now.
That's right, Mr. Thornton.
So, David, I take him down. And what do you do, eh?
Well, I'm going back to Chris with Side.
You cannot take Saeed. He comes with me and the sick man.
Well, then I shan't get back to Chris till tomorrow.
That's too damn bad for Chris.
Well, then I'll go without Side.
You cannot go alone. You stay here and watch the radio. You won't eat, Mr. Chris?
Not yet, Ali. I'll wait till Mr. Izar comes back.
We're one man lost. One man lost. Will you arrange a sweep in Sugar 9583? Sugar 9583. Keep a lookout for a single green Land Rover. A single green Land Rover.
How can he be lost?
Do you want to inform London?
Hello, get me triple air control.
People mucking about.
It's what comes of having their orders countermanded.
Don't you think his father should be told?
Yeah, send a cable to London, will you?
Now, wait a minute. We don't want to be causing undue distress.
No, this isn't a secret society.
All right. Can I speak to the duty officer? Oh, Carol. Tell them we've put out a general alarm and the party's still searching.
So, where do we look now?
God knows, he could be anywhere.
It has to happen his first time.
That's when it does happen.
You think maybe we didn't scare him enough? Perhaps we scared him too much and he didn't believe us.
You can't win, that's what it is, Giuseppe.
Poor Bambino. If I'd only known he was going out like this.
It's nothing to do with you. If I'd gone back with him, it would never have happened. I was being selfish.
You don't say that. You may think it, Christopher, but you don't say it. Right. Where do we look now?
Oh, we just box squares across the flaming desert and hope the air search of the army have more luck.
What would you have done?
I'd try to retrace my steps. If that didn't work, I'd head north and aim at getting as near the coast as possible. But he's not me. Let's work over the next grid square.
It's not very good, I'm afraid.
It's not desperate yet, is it? If he had plenty of water.
Peter Thornton's doing everything he can.
Yes, I'm sure he is.
There's a whole high-powered routine goes into action when anyone's lost. Air patrols the lot. Still, it is nearly 3 days.
2.
Yes? No. And I don't want to be disturbed. I've got Mr. Izard with me. How's your wife taking it?
Oh, not very well. Well, it's all this waiting with the telephone, everything at third hand. She doesn't sleep. Well, not right very much. I keep seeing, contracts and balance sheets.
Why don't you go out there, Willie?
It's all so hopeless. I mean, there's nothing I can say to Betty to help or
Go out
do.
there, Willie. If you were in Tripoli, at least you'd be on the spot.
I don't think I could do that.
Why not?
I've got too much on here.
To hell with everything here. At least you'd be doing something.
I mean, at least it would give the illusion.
You could take your wife. Might be a help to her.
Yeah. Yes, I suppose it might. Yeah, both of us, that's rather expensive.
We'll look after that.
You see, there is just one other thing.
What's that?
David. He hates people making a fuss.
Get me a travel section.
You probably think we're being very inefficient, Mrs. Izard, but it's the size of the problem that makes it difficult. The Sahara is about as far across as the Atlantic, and to find a single vehicle's like looking for a ship's raft.
Even if he hasn't panicked and left his
I
vehicle.
don't want to sound pessimistic, but
In which
it's over
case
a week
he's
now.
just one
We're even having to
bobbing
call in
head.
the rest of the party because they're running out of supplies.
You're not going to stop
Shouldn't have been there in the first
Oh,
place.
no. The air sweeps will still go on and army
They come
patrols
straight
will
in
come
instead
down
of
there.
monkeying about.
The trouble is, it's a little like looking for
Sort
a
of
leaf
thing
in a
only
haystack.
happens when
Down there, he's
people
out of
behave
range of the normal
stupidly.
working groups.
What do you mean, David?
I mean Darnley, the
We're all
party
very
chief.
sorry, Mrs. Izard.
Should have looked after him.
Down there. Well, I'd like to meet the rest of the party if it's possible.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. I'll let you know as soon as they come in. Meanwhile, I'm afraid we can only go on hoping.
No, we have high hopes.
We pray for you. It's nice here. Very pleasant. He was here, was he?
Briefly.
Oh, sit down, dear.
He was a very retiring boy, you know.
He was a very nice fellow.
He'd have been a good lad in the desert, given time.
He was inexperienced, of course.
Yes, he must have been quite a responsibility.
He was always somewhat adventurous, although we brought him up very quietly.
Oh, too quietly, probably.
We wouldn't let him mix with any of those mods and rockers.
Oh, he was a bit old for mods and rockers, dear.
Oh, well, whatever they were before. Teddy boys or something.
The master march. He always wanted to march. He didn't, of course.
He hadn't done anything, had he?
He didn't have a war like our generation. I think that makes a difference to a boy. Once, when we were going on holiday to Eastbourne, he walked all the way from Sydenham.
Yes, he wouldn't go in the car.
He was only 14. He was almost crippled when he got there. He was was never very strong. His feet were...
His feet were all right, yeah.
He was a very nice boy, wasn't he, Zeta?
Nice, yes. Very nice.
Darnley, I wonder if, you know, my son admired you very much.
Oh?
So I think it was because he found you entirely different from me.
For God's sake.
No, it's understandable. Look, I know Thornton feels that you took too great a risk, but I don't feel that. I wanted you to know that I understand the circumstances, in fact, that I was against this change of plan, but...
You didn't stop them, did you?
No, I didn't. But I did want you to know that I don't...
No, of course you blame me. You all do.
No, I know Davy.
You do? Oh, I know him. I may not, as he pointed out, have been his father, but at least I was somebody who could lead him.
Well, that must have been very gratifying.
I thought he was just a kid on the run from all the claptrap you live among.
Well, perhaps he just wanted to impress you.
You know why he was lost? He got lost because he had no experience, like Giuseppe said. But he was a boss's boy, so he got pushed in. That was the first thing.
Well, that's not Davy.
He joined me the day before we went down into the blue, and he didn't know his arm from his elbow. The next thing, your little friend Thornton decides to muck us about, and we have to scramble through what we're supposed to be doing. David tries his best. In fact, he tries too hard, not because he has to impress me. I didn't put any pressure on him. Giuseppe and I were always trying to hold him back. The only time he was without one of us was the last time, and that was an emergency. Yeah, he was your victim. But you don't care, do you?
Well, naturally, I care.
All you do is sit in your smart germ-free offices with your great plans all computerized and docketed, and you devise policies and hold meetings and tear at each other's throats. And away from it, miles out, some poor kid gets the chop.
Mr. Darnley, I take it you are not a parent.
No, I'm not.
Well, then you can't possibly know what the relationship is.
I can imagine.
No, I doubt it. You see, it's not like making a friend. It's a basic extension of one's life. One may not understand, but one does care.
Oh. If I've said things that don't apply to you personally, I'm sorry.
No, there's no need.
If you want my sympathy...
No. I wasn't aware that I'd asked for that. You see, my wife and I, we had hoped that you would be able to accept us, as you accepted David. But it doesn't matter.
Eyes out. I miss him, too.